morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and today's shout out goes to Technical Madman 2986 and RC Addicts Garage. Both were first to say first in one of my recent videos, and both win the shout out, so congratulations. Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here with a review of another neat drone. This is the RG600 Pro, folks. Why am I interested in this? This is another one of those drones that are under 250 grams, thus it doesn't require registration, it doesn't require remote ID. It has optical flow. It's cheap. It's under the $40 price range. I think it's around 35. I can't remember right now. But it also has optical flow systems that gives it nice steady hover along with brushless motors. So we're seeing a lot of these cheap drones, inexpensive drones nowadays with very good optical flow systems and brushless motors. This is a big jump over previous drones that of the past for beginners. You know, the cheap beginner drones of the past all had brushed motors, which easily would wear out with time. This doesn't. So let's go over it in a little more detail. First off, it's a folding drone to make for portability, great easy portability, so you can carry it around with you and take it out whenever you want to go. And it also comes with a carrying case, folks, for the drone and its accessories. Okay, in addition to its carrying case, this drone, as I mentioned earlier, it only weighs 187 grams, and that's including the battery in the back here. What does that mean? Again, this drone does not require registration in the U.S., and it does not require remote ID. These are big selling points for beginner pilots. You don't have to mess around with going to the FAA site and getting that registration and remote ID. You will, however, have to, get that trust certificate. And look into that, folks. The trust certificate's easy. It's just common sense tests that you can take online with the FAA. Well, not with the FAA, but with FAA partners, and in particular, the Academy of Model Aeronautics, AMA. They have on their site the little course that you could take. And it's just to give you a basic understanding of safety of these particular drones. Okay, if you're going to be flying a drone, you don't want to be flying near an airport or near aircraft or in above 400 feet in airspace where manned aircraft are going. You don't want to do that even with a toy drone. So again, get that trust certificate. It's easy to get online. But that's enough to talk about the trust certificate. Now again, this has brushless motors. These are 1503 brushless motors. We're seeing these a lot in these cheaper drones these days. It's not bad. These are good motors. And again, since they're brushless, there's less chance of these things burning out with you, especially since this drone has flip capability, and I'll talk about that here shortly. Other things about it, it does have obstacle avoidance option, or actually it comes with the obstacle avoidance sensor. You can fly without it if you wish. You can put this comes with this on here, and you have to install the obstacle avoidance sensor. But the obstacle avoidance sensor works mainly indoors, folks. If you're going to be flying indoors, I'll try to demonstrate that here shortly with an indoor flight of the Quadcopter 101 indoor flight test facility. But what we got on here is this has an emitter on the top here, and these are receptors on each of these little windows here. And this sends out a light signal, a beam, and it bounces off a wall, and it's received by these little receptors here. And based on which receptor is receiving the reflected light, it'll try to avoid that by going in the opposite direction. So that's what this obstacle avoidance sensor does. Outdoors, this does not work. These IR ones, they don't work because sunlight overpowers these sensors outdoors. Indoors, they do actually work. There are some limitations, and I'll probably demonstrate that when I'm flying indoors here. But overall, yeah, these kind of work indoors. Now, other thing on this drone has, and I really like about this drone, is it has an optical flow sensor. Again, we're seeing this a lot in drones these days, beginner drones. It makes flying very easy for beginner pilots. And how does it do that? Well, this is a little camera that looks directly beneath the drone, at the ground beneath the drone. And based on what it sees, it uses that image to try to maintain that position without drifting. Some of these work better than others. This one actually does work kind of well. At least it does in my basement. We'll see how well it works outdoors. But again, this is, in effect, a poor man's GPS system here. You don't have to worry about the drone drifting away. You just let go of the sticks and it should automatically hover. And we'll see how well that works outdoors when we take it outdoors here in the near future. But again, it has optical flow. Now, it is powered by two or an optional second, 3.7 volt, 2000 milliampere hour battery. Each of these is supposed to give about 15 minutes of flight time. I kind of find that hard to believe because these brushless motors tend to drain these batteries a little more faster than a brush motor. I would realistically expect under 10 minutes with this particular battery, but we'll see when we actually go fly it outdoors. I'll fly it until we run out of battery and let it land. Now, it is charged, this battery is charged through a micro USB port right there, and you get a little micro USB cable to charge this. Now, I recommend that you charge this battery with a wall charger, a phone wall charger, a good 2 amp phone wall charger, because this 2000 milliampere hour battery is somewhat big. If you try to charge this using the USB port on your computer, which is only 500 milliampere hour output, this could take a couple days to charge. So again, use a 2 amp wall charger to charge this, to charge it in a reasonable amount of time. Now let's talk about the camera on this. It does have a camera right there. And these two little ports on here are not cameras. These are LED lights. It gives you extra, it's like a spotlight, headlights for this particular drone, in addition to these lights here. The camera on this is a 1080p camera. It records video at 25 frames per second. Now it also records photos at 8K. Okay, when I say 8K, it will record photos to your phone at 7680 by 4320 pixels. Now, is that true 8K? No, it's not. It's just interpolated frame grabs of the video, stills from the video that is electronically enlarged on your phone using the app. The app electronically enlarges that to 8K. There's no advantage to that. It's still going to look as the same as the a still frame grab from that 1080p video. It's just electronically enlarged to a larger file size. So there's no real advantage to that, folks. That's just a marketing ploy so that they can claim this as an 8K camera, when in reality, the sensor is not an 8K on this particular drone. But it does have an up-down gimbal. This camera lens can be swiveled up or down remotely using the remote control. I'll go over the remote controls here shortly. So it can look slightly up, about like 10 degrees, and it also goes straight down too, 90 degrees looking downward. So if you want to look down beneath the drone, you can do that. You can also look through the camera here using the app, but this particular camera is much lower resolution than the 1080p camera here. This one's only 720p. This is 1080p. So you probably want to use this if you want to look directly beneath the drone instead of using that optical flow sensor to do such. Okay, let's talk about the app for this. This uses the Wi-Fi UAV app available on Play and on the App Store. Now, that app enables you to view the video from the camera on your phone in real time and record that video directly to your phone, along with the photos if you wish to take still photos. They record that directly to your phone too using Wi-Fi. There's no SD card on this particular drone for recording directly to an SD camera, unfortunately. So you're going to have the inherent limitations that come with Wi-Fi FPV video. Namely, we're going to probably see some frame drops, some stills, some frozen frames. We'll see when we take it out in the field how well that Wi-Fi is actually going to work with this particular drone. Now let's go over what you get with this particular drone. You get the drone, you get the carrying case, you get the obstacle avoidance sensor, you get a guide for the Wi-Fi UAV app, along with a instruction manual for the drone. It's actually well written, but it's English and in Chinese, just only those two languages. You get the drone, of course, along with the optical flow sensor. You get a spare battery if you order a spare battery with this, the optional spare battery. I would recommend you, if you wish a spare battery, to purchase it at the time, have it bundled with at the time of purchase, because otherwise it will be next to impossible to get spare batteries once you purchase this drone. You get a charging cable for that battery. You get a screwdriver along with a set of spare propellers for the drone. This screwdriver is for changing the propellers of the drone, along with removing the little safety screw on the back of the battery case of the controller. And you get a spare set of screws for the propellers, along with this is the screw that came out of the back of the battery case of the remote controller. Now let's talk about the remote controller finally. You have throttle, it's Motu throttle, you have yaw, pitch, and roll on these ones here. This is your rates button. This varies the speed of the drone from beginner to intermediate to expert. This is your on switch, on and off switch on the drone. This is for automatic takeoff and automatic landing. This is a trim button. You press this button once, say if your drone is drifting, even with the optical flow sensor working, press this button once and that will put it into trim settings. And if it's drifting, if the drone is drifting to the left, do a couple bumps of the stick to the right until the drifting stops, and then press that button once more to set it. Same if it's drifting forward or backward. Say it's drifting forward, press the button once and then bump the stick back to counter that forward drift until it stops moving, and then press the button once again to set the trim. This button here is headless mode. Headless mode enables you to point this drone in any direction, and don't care what direction it's pointed because it will only remember the direction it was pointed at takeoff as being forward, and the opposite direction will be back and left and right. And again, I'll demonstrate that when we go out in the field. And this button here is for turning the obstacle avoidance sensor on and off. You may want to turn it off when indoors because this optical avoidance sensor, when it senses something, it pushes the drone quite a bit rapidly in the opposite direction. And there is a chance it might bounce into something when it reacts to the wall, say a wall. I'll show that again when we're flying indoors because it is kind of sensitive, this obstacle avoidance sensor. This drone does have the ability to flip, and you activate that by pressing this button here and then telling which direction to flip. So it'll do acrobatic flips. And these buttons here are for moving the camera gimbal up and for moving the camera gimbal down. You just press it once and it bumps the camera image downward. So that is the controller. It is powered by 3 triple or double A batteries. See these high quality ones from the Dollar Tree there. So that's it. That's what you get in the package. That's the controller. This is again the RG600 Pro. Let's take it out in the field, folks, and see how it flies. So hope you enjoy this flight. Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and welcome to the indoor test flight of the RG600. Now I'm testing it in here in my garage. What I want to do is mainly test the obstacle avoidance feature of this drone, see if it works or not. Again, it's less likely to work outdoors, but it should work indoors. So let's see if that does that. So to turn this on, make sure the battery's all the way inserted, and press and hold the on-off switch until you hear a beep. And then putting it on a flat level surface, turning on the controller, and we're connected. Okay, let's see if we can do an automatic, well, I don't want to do an automatic takeoff. Do I? Let's start the motors down and out and give it some throttle. First off, let's see if the not obstacle avoidance, but the optical flow feature is working indoors. Yeah, more or less it is. Okay, I'm going to get out of the way of it and then turn on that obstacle avoidance feature. Obstacle avoidance should now be on. Hearing the double beeps. Let's go toward the wall and see what happens. Slowly going toward the wall. There we go. So there, obstacle avoidance feature did work. It's detecting something else. Let's go toward the wall again. There you go. Pulling it back away from the wall. Let's go to the left. Let's go to the left wall there, over by my sleds. See, I told you folks, I do go sled riding. But yeah, there you go. Obstacle avoidance feature blocked me. Won't let me go toward the wall. So, it seems to kick in about, now you got to fly, when you're in obstacle avoidance, you go real slow. But it kicks in about 2 feet away. This is when it kicks in and bounces off. Also, it puts you in a low rate while you're in obstacle avoidance. So, you got to bring it back away from the wall to stop that. Let's go over by my sleds. Beep, beep, beep. Again, one more try. Going forward. It won't let me go there. Going to the right. And it won't let me do that. Turning it. Optical flow seems to be working well. Going to the left and back a bit. Again, this feature is mainly for indoor flying. Now, I'm not going to do any flips or rolls with this. I'm just going to be flying around. Actually, I'm almost done here. That's what I wanted to do, folks. Will it detect me? Coming toward me. Ah, detected me. It bounced off of me. Look at those lights. Fancy lights. Now let's turn off obstacle avoidance. Obstacle avoidance is off now. And now we can fly normally. When obstacle avoidance is on, it's, look how it flies when obstacle avoidance is off. It flies pretty, let's turn it on. And when you turn it on, well, is it on? No, it's not on. You got to hear that chirping. Let's hold it down for 2 seconds. Is it on? Yeah, it's on now. And now, when you're in obstacle avoidance mode, it's really, really slow. You can't go very fast. And when it bounces off something, you got to pull it away from it. So one more time, let's do a left toward the left wall. And it stops it. So that's the obstacle avoidance feature. It does work. I'm not going to do any flips. Let me turn it off too. So I can turn it around. So yeah, the obstacle avoidance feature does work. I do not recommend flying indoors like I'm doing though, folks, even though it has optical flow. But if you do, you might want to turn on the obstacle avoidance feature and fly it in a large area like I'm flying it right here. Flying it in small obstructed areas, you might have problems with this drone because those motors are powerful. Okay, you don't want to bounce into your pets or other things, and bouncing into objects with those high-speed motors might damage the motor or the propellers. So that's all I need to do. Let's take it outdoors now, folks, and see how it flies outdoors. So hope you enjoy the second part of this flight. And to stop it, you bring the throttle down all the way in and stops like this. Okay, let's go take it outdoors now, folks. Hope you enjoy the second part. Good morning, Quadcopter 101, and welcome to beautiful Pleasant Ridge Park here near Girard in Fairview, PA, for the test flight of the RG600 Pro. Okay, to get this into the air, we need to turn it on. Battery, make sure the battery's fully inserted, and then the on-off switch is on the bottom here. Hold it down until you hear those ESCs chirp, and then put it on a flat level surface. There we go, ESCs chirped. Flat level surface. ESCs stand for electronic speed controller, folks, for those of you that don't know what that means. And let's see if we're connected. Yep, we're connected. Okay, next thing I need to do is connect that drone's Wi-Fi signal to my phone and then open the app. So hold on while I do that. Okay, this is the Wi-Fi UAV app available in Play and on the App Store. And we should be ready to take off. Before we take off, let me first start video recording, which is that button there on the app. Video recording is started. And then I'm going to start the motors down and out. Put them in idle. Then hit the automatic takeoff button. And let's see how that optical flow system is working. Is it going to drift? Seems to be holding, folks. Let's turn it a little bit straight toward the other gear. And let's take it up. Let's take it up and see how that optical flow works at different altitudes. Okay, I'm about 10, 15 feet in the air. There's a wind behind me, and it seems to be drifting. So, oh no, there we go. It stopped. Okay, let's go a bit higher. About 25 feet up, I'm guessing. Optical flow, wind behind my back. It's still holding position. Let me lower the gimbal a bit. Automatic lowering. Yeah, there we go. To go with that. Still holding its position. Let's go a bit higher. About 30, 40 feet up. Holding its position. It's drifting to the right, it appears. So, and will it stop? Nobody knows. No, it won't stop. Let's come back down, lowering the position, and see when will it stop. Down to 30 feet. So it seems to be about 30 feet is the minimum altitude for this optical flow system to work on this overcast day. So it does work. Okay, let's try FPV flying with it. My wife and dog around here anywhere? Wait a minute, they were here earlier. I think they probably went back to my car. But let's see about how far this Wi-Fi actually works on this. Going forward. Heading toward that building over there. Let's see if we can go over to that pump house. That's a pump house over there. Also keeping an eye on it at the same time, flying over there slowly. Seems to be working. Okay, it's getting kind of choppy right there. And it's drifting a bit. Let's come down. Oh, and I think I lost signal. So that seems to be it. So let's fly back, line of sight. That's why you don't want to, whoop, wrong way. Right, turning to the right, turning to the right. And if you're wondering how I do this, folks, line of sight at that great distance, it comes, you look for the motion of the drone while pushing forward on the stick. And if it's moving to the left, you turn left until it starts heading toward you. If it's moving to the right, you push right until it starts heading toward you. And right now, it seems to be going away from me. When I lost signal, Wi-Fi signal, I also lost control, okay? Luckily, that optical flow system is holding its position. Okay, now it seems to be coming back. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Pushing forward. Which is coming back a little faster. Where's the rates button? Let me go to higher rate. Come back to me, because I want to try something we haven't done yet. So yeah, don't go out greater than about 50 meters with this, folks, because once you lose the optical flow, or the FPV, you also lose control, it appears. So luckily the optical flow system held it in place relatively well. Okay, I want to get close because what I want to do I haven't done yet, and that's bring it up to us and hit that flip button. Oh, by the way, what is this doing here? Okay, it's flying backwards from me. Okay, letting go of the stick. Okay, hold your position. There we go. Okay, hitting the flip button. Ooh, the wind's hitting me from behind and it's pushing it back, going back into the wind. Let's come a little bit lower so it can, that optical flow system work a little bit better, and going to higher rate to fight the wind. And it's not much of a wind today, folks. So, okay, let's see here. Let's do another flip. Let's do a right flip. Left flip. Back flip. So it flips well. Okay. So far, let's come down lower. The optical flow system works best when you're near the ground, obviously. Okay, the wind's picking up right now and it's working well now. If you go a bit higher than 10 meters, 10 feet, it starts to get iffy. There's my shoes, there's me, and there I am. So how do you like my shirt today, folks? Did I say that already? So yeah, good optical flow system on this at low altitude. You get above 20 feet or so, starts to get a little bit iffy in the wind. But down here close to the ground it works relatively well, holding its position automatically. So let me get a thumbnail while we're doing this. Let me go a bit higher to get the sky behind it. And there we go. Okay, for the remainder of the flight, what haven't I done yet? Headless mode, which is this button here. Let's try that. Headless mode. Oh, that's obstacle avoidance. Let's try the obstacle avoidance. It's sensing something. Let's turn obstacle avoidance off. Let me get farther away from it. Obstacle avoidance on. I don't know. It seems to be sensing something. Is it me? Okay. No. Well, outdoors does not seem to be working right now. I'm going to try to fly this indoors also, folks, so keep that in mind too. So, okay, that's the video. Let me sync up the video, by the way. I haven't done that yet for the video camera and the video recording. We're going to start video recording right now. Stop it, because what I need to do next, stop the video recording, is what I need to do next. There we go. I want to take a photo. Come down a little lower and say, cheese. That's its camera. Another one, cheese. So there we go. Two, maybe one more. Can never get enough pictures of Quadcopter 101. Okay, we're in high rate. Let's see how it flies as a drone. Again, there's a wind today. I'm guessing the wind's about 5 miles an hour, not really hard. Hard wind. Can I do a flip while it's going forward? Let me try. Hold on. Yeah, you can. That was cool. Let's try it again. Coming around. No more flips. No more flips. Power's getting too low. And the lights are starting to flash, so that means flight time is almost done on this drone. So we'll find out what the actual flight time is at the completion of the flight. I'm assuming it's going to land itself and not drop from the sky. We'll find out. I'm going upwind, fighting the wind, and then come downwind, full speed. Zoom. Wow. Going back into the wind at half speed. And then turning around and coming downwind at full speed. Oh, zoom. So, hey, even though this is only 250 grams, that thing is moving. So that might hurt you in third rate. So you beginner flyers, only use the third rate if you have to fight the wind. That's why I'm using it today, because that is kind of a fast rate for this. Okay, let's go back to recording video. Let's go up high. Higher. And rotate while it drifts up there. I should do a slower rotate. Okay, and I better come back down because I don't know what it's going to do in low battery or after low voltage cutoff. So far, so good. The obstacle avoidance didn't seem to work outdoors. No surprise there. You know, these infrared obstacle avoidance sensors, again, these infrared obstacle avoidance sensors only seem to work indoors, folks. Outdoors, the sunlight or the bright light outdoors can't interfere with it, interfere with the proper operation of that system. We're going to try that indoors in my flight test facility to see how it works there. Hopefully it'll be better flying in that position. But notice those bright white lights on the front of this. Again, this does not have 3 cameras, as it suggests. It might be suggestive. They are just mere, those other 2 things are just lights. They do give you an indication on low battery power. It gives you a good advanced indication of low battery power. But other than that, they're just LED lights, bright LED lights. So, okay, let's go back up and look at the drone up in the sky there, getting in another thumbnail. Actually, that's a better thumbnail. And there we go. That's the flight time you get from this drone. And let's stop the motors down. Just bring the throttle down. Okay, throttle down. You can stop now. Okay. Well, it doesn't want to stop. Well, that seems to be an interesting predicament. Let me turn off the video recording first, too. And I'm not touching that until those throttles stop. Holding down the throttle, just hold down the throttle for a long time and it seems to be slowing down until the motor stops. Will that motor stop? There we go. Oh, one more. Now that seems to be an issue right there. Stopping the motors on low battery. If I would have landed before low battery, I'm sure those to LVC cut off, you get that. Okay, that seems to be it. Let me turn it off. So that's the RC600. Not a bad little drone. Mainly meant for beginner flyers. Again, keep it low, about below 20 feet. The the optical flow system seems to work on this at low altitude. You go above 20 feet and it starts to drift a bit. So, hope you enjoyed this flight. It's Quadcopter 101, signing out. Hi, Quadcopter 101 here again. Hey, if you want to get your own shout out in one of my future videos, make sure you subscribe to my channel. It's real simple. Just go to my channel page and click on that subscribe. And also make sure to click that bell button right next to the subscribe button. That way you get notified when I release a brand new video immediately and give you a chance to get that first shout out. So give it a try, folks.